Bondy Blue, and I am back, and I'm back for a different type of video. Okay, so this is what I like to call bitches who sing. No, sisters who be bitches who sing. No, sisters with attitudes and voices. Like, you know, sisters be bitches or something like that. I don't know, y'all. Fuck with me. I don't know. Look, anyway, this is SWV R&B Divas LA and Braxton Family Values 3-in-1 review, in which we will discuss some things, because I feel like some things have been going on that are interesting enough, and I want to talk about them with y'all. So, get your snacks, sit tight, get comfy, do whatever you're gonna do, put your earphones in, get it to the volume that you need it to be. Whatever you're doing while you're listening, watching me, get it together, because let's go. Okay, so we're gonna start with R&B Divas LA. So, R&B Divas LA, the ladies have finally worked on this song with Warren the OG Campbell. You know what I'm saying? BKA Sabertooth Tiger, my nigga. So Warren is super duper talented, and it was like, this is what you want to watch a show about musicians for, to watch their process, to watch them, you know, Warren be like, all right, you get in there and do this, and you get in there and do this, and then you just hear all the parts separate, but you hear how amazing, and you hear the potential that it's going to be so great once it's all put together. And that's what I enjoyed so much about this episode. First, we get Chrisette to come up with a little you know, something sexy, soft, savory, okay? And then we have whatever she's saying, we have Claudette saying that in Spanish underneath. You know, Selena used to do that shit a lot. Shantae did the background, which was, you know, her I don't remember what it was, because I couldn't really hear it. It was so low, I couldn't hear the shit, okay? So, I don't really remember what the fuck she did. But anyway, so then when it came back the next time, Lil Mo laid down a mediocre rap track. And I'm going to say it was mediocre because I felt like she could have done better. And everybody kept saying it was, oh, you Nicki Minaj. And I was like, no. Don't say that. Don't do that. Not saying that she doesn't have the capability to be great, but no. I'm not gonna take that. So yeah, no. Then Lila got in there and did the Spanish part, which was kind of hard for her because she kept saying Astra instead of saying Estra. You know what I'm saying? Estra, Estra. You know what I'm saying? You got to get your Spanish accentuals on. You know what I'm saying? And she wasn't really getting that at first, but once she got it, her deep full voice, it just really came out beautifully. And then Michel'le did Donna Summers. That's what they told her. And she went in there and whatever it was that they was doing, but you know, she came strong with it. And you know, just getting to hear her talking voice and how her singing voice is just always so crazy and very interesting to watch nonetheless. In there, Shantae sits down, you know, after Warren asking everybody how they feel, and she was like, I want a bigger part. I don't like the fact that I only have background. I mean, I don't understand why I can't have like a lead part. It kind of wrecked the flow. I was like, God damn, Shantae, you aggravate the fuck out. Like, and then, you know, of course, Lil Mo was like, I thought you was okay with singing background. And it's like, yeah, background. That's not even background, okay? And another thing, when Shantae was asking y'all to sing background, that was background on her record. This was not something that had all of these people in it that was about to be a Puerto Rican We Are the World. You know what I'm saying? That's not what we were doing here. Okay, so I really don't feel like those two things compare, but whatever, Lil Mo. I really feel like they trying to turn Shantae into some sort of villain this season, but I feel like she keep fighting not to let that shit happen. You know what I'm saying? She trying real hard. I mean, I would feel some type of way if all I had was some breathiness on a song and not really like a actual lyrical part on the song. I would feel some type of way as well. But you know, at the same time, it still did wreck the flow, and it felt very uncomfortable for her to say that in front of everybody. I don't know why. I feel like maybe she should have just said something in front of the girls and then just said something in front of Warren. I don't know, maybe not. All I know is it was uncomfortable as fuck to watch, okay? So later on, Warren calls her in the studio after she done talked about it with her little boo from New Orleans, okay? And I was like, oh, all right, shit, I need to find out who he is, because he has a yacht, okay? People who like to invest in things such as talent, okay? Like, I'm just saying. You live down here, you own a yacht, You go with Shantae. You must have money. Okay, see, investing. Here we go. Here. Anyway, all I'm saying is, I don't know who that dude is, but he's definitely from here. When he spoke to her on the boat, it was very, you know, apparent that he had the accent, and I was like, yes. Because I get so tired of hearing people on television that's supposed to be from New Orleans but have no accent. It's very disappointing. Anyway, so when she, you know, came back to the studio with Warren and they did the little song, and he gave, you know, he gave her some whatever she was doing, and it was, you know, something that gave her prominence in a certain part of the song. I felt like it was good. She wasn't really all that way happy with it, but she, you know, just took what she can get, because at the end of the day, we can't have 6 motherfuckers singing lead on a song. That's not what we gonna do. Okay, that's not what we gonna do, just so you could feel like you have a little spot on a song and all of that. But I did agree when Leela and Lil Mo went to the little stripping class, I mean to the pole dancing class, and Leela said that at the end of the day, I don't feel no type of way because it doesn't always have to be about me. I don't always have to be the center of attention at some point. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with that. So it's a toss-up for me. I understood how Shantae felt, but I also felt like why you couldn't just play backseat and do whatever part on the song. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I mean, because Warren was able to fit it in so seamlessly for me, I felt like it was worth her saying something because her part sounded great. So good for Shantae. Michel'le is switching managers on this show. Okay, she is going from old dude who she was with to some new dude. I'm very confused about who the fucking manager is and who does what, because nobody seems to know what the hell is going on around here. Michel'le was supposed to have a show in San Diego. All the women, you know, packed themselves into a 98 limo and drive on up to San Diego to see Michel'le perform. And when they get there, Michel'le is totally taken aback, okay, because Michel'le has seen a flyer that has all of the ladies' pictures on the flyer, and also has a picture of this tall ass fat dude that looks like, you know, he's the star of the show, and this is supposed to be Michel'le's show from what she understands. But oh no, whoever the dude, Valentine, whoever he is a host. He is also the promoter, and he is also the talent as the comedian for the show. So it almost seemed like Michel'le was supposed to be opening up for him. That's almost what it seemed like. It's very, very confusing. And when the ladies get there, Michel'le explains to them that she had nothing to do with this. You know, she doesn't know what's going on, because this is just crazy. I mean, I don't know why they would put all you guys' pictures on, and nobody talked to me about that. And you know what I'm saying? So, you know, she's talking to them about it so that they don't feel like it's on her, or that she was trying to, you know, shade them in some way. So, you know, as soon as Valentine and Errol is supposed to be her CFO, he, you know, controls the money, and he looked like a straight pimp. He looked like somebody I wouldn't trust with my money. Why do you have on sunglasses inside, sir? Why do you have on this like rambunctious ass bow tie, sir? Like, what's happening right now, sir? Make me understand it. I'm very uncomfortable with it. I don't appreciate it. Like, I feel like Michel'le should have been able to read something off you, because you giving me straight grimy tease right now. Both of y'all, you and Mr. Valentine sitting up there texting each other and shit, because Valentine doesn't want to say that Errol is the one that told me it was okay to put y'all pictures on this shit. Chrisette told them, look, I usually get $30,000 to $35,000 for a gig like this. So if somebody wants to, you know, tell me who I need to talk to, we can get this shit together. And the same thing goes for everybody else that felt like you can't use my image and my likeness on no fucking flyer like I was supposed to be here and perform. This is my name. You know what I'm saying? Because if you put my picture on this flyer, people are going to think that I'm supposed to perform regardless to what you put in the fine print. Motherfuckers don't read fine print. That's how they get caught with all these heavy ass credit card bills, because nobody reads the fine print these days, okay? And I really feel like the fucking print shouldn't be fine in the first place, but whatever. Valentine, you know, gets upset and feels like he's being attacked, and says this, and says that they came in there all dressed up and shit, so obviously they came in there dressed up for something. And Shantae stood up like, grandmother, no, you not, oh, I don't know who you talking to, young man. But what you gonna have to realize right now is her picture should have been bigger than yours, and our pictures shouldn't have been on here. I don't understand what's happening right now. This is not how you do business. This is not how we do business. So if you can get this bullshit together, we are going to have a problem up in this motherfucker right now. Okay? And if you think that it's gonna be an easy squeeze to get out, motherfucker. Oh no, it's not. Okay, Shantae just went off a little bit. Okay, I wanted to, you know, add a little extra sauce onto it, but that's how I felt. So, you know, eventually Michel'le has to make the decision whether she's gonna perform or not, and she, you know, has her little moment, but she gets up there and she goes out there and she performs and she dips it and does it, and it was a good performance, and that really showed that she is pulling it the fuck together, that she didn't break down and completely tap out, and she was still able to do what she had to do and go up there and entertain those people who came there to see her. So I was happy about that. Okay, now that was R&B Divas. Now let's move on. Oh, all right. To Braxton family values. Okay, so y'all know the Braxtons have not been getting along lately, all really due to Tamar and Tawanda. And let me just say this, Tamar, you work my nerve. And the reason why I no longer give Braxton family values a full review is because sometimes I feel like either the bullshit is contrived because y'all trying to make sure people still watching y'all show, or y'all are just this damn disgruntled and this damn like messed up right now. Okay, because Tamar never wants to take responsibility for what she does. She never sees her blame. Everything is happening to her. I don't know why you guys are doing this to me, and I still don't know what I did. And you leave the session with Dr. Sherry, want to be dramatic exit, and you thought the fucking show was going to end because you left. But oh no, the other lady still stayed, so they went and did what Dr. Sherry had planned for them, which is for them to do, you know, trust building exercises, and they worked and the ladies had a good time. Well, when Tamar sits down with everybody and they explain that they had a good time and learned something from it, she feels left out even more. Well, bitch, that was your fault because you should not have left. But being that you are the baby and have to consistently have the attitude, wham, woe is me bullshit, it is very annoying to watch. I'm going to tell you that right now. You 37 years old and you still act like a fucking baby. I'm going to tell you that right now. And it worked my nerve for dear life. We all saw Tawanda have a complete nervous breakdown and just, you know, crash across the table. And let me tell you something. It wouldn't go down like that if it was me. Bitch, we gonna argue until I get my point across. I don't give a fuck. If we gotta fight, if we gotta get it out, we not gonna keep doing this every time we around each other where I'm about to have a nervous breakdown because you don't seem to understand that your fans are fucking crazy. Your fans are messy ass bitches. And I mean, I'm not saying it from my personal perspective, but let me just say this. I am so sick and tired of internet stans and people that leech on to celebrities and feel the need to fight the celebrities' battles via the internet and bully people and thousands and hundreds and shit of comments and tweets to somebody just trying to bring them down as a person. I really feel like I'm really getting sick and tired of seeing that shit. I feel like people need to be more invested in their own lives, and if you can't be a responsible person on the internet enough to know that there are some things you don't say to people, get the fuck off the internet. Like, I'm gonna be real, like even some of the people that comment on my videos, like I put up Love and Hip Hop at like 2 o'clock in the morning, so I might not remember to put review on the end of the video. When somebody has a comment and say, I wish you would put review on here, don't nobody want to watch your fucking review. Well, bitch, you stayed long enough to comment, so what you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? If you was in real life, you wouldn't say that shit to people. And that goes for the things that people say and get involved in their relationship and tweet to Tawanda because they feel like they on Tamar's side and vice versa. All y'all need to stay out of people's fucking business. Yes, they invite y'all to make comments on Twitter and all of that because they want everybody to watch the show. But at the end of the day, you should not be getting in their relationship like that. That's just fucking disgusting to me. And very tiresome. And go get a fucking life. Like on some real shit. I'm gonna say that to all you people that do that, and I don't give a fuck what you gotta say, because y'all really take on other people's plight like they're your own, but you can give a fuck about the people that standing in front of you that have met you. So I don't understand it, and I really just feel like people need to stop that. I'm sorry I had to, you know, give my little public service announcement to get your fucking life, but I'm sorry, it needs to be said and more frequently so people can learn that it's not okay to be sitting up here bullying people just because you all dicks, rocks, and hard and all of that for some celebrity who don't give a fuck about you. So anyway, Tawanda was pissed because, you know, instead of Tamar telling her stans to chill the fuck out and not talk about her sister's children and her sister like that. She says, you know, she tells Tawanda that that's her fans and you don't worry about my fans and all. I mean, she really does take their side, seemingly, even in the arguments after the fact. You never say, you know, at the end of the day, you my sister, and fuck what they gotta say. And I really feel like no matter how she feels about it on the internet, it should always be, look, I can say what I want to say about my sister, but you don't play with my sister like that. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck. That's how I would be. Me and my sister fight all the time. I can't stand that bitch sometimes, but I love her. And if somebody say anything about her, I'm gonna have a fucking problem. That's my sister. I grew up with her. I earned those stripes. You don't fucking know her like that. Don't play with her like that. So I don't know what's wrong with Tamar, but she need to get her life on that front. I don't agree with that shit at all, and I don't like it. I feel like that's some outlandish ass shit. But they all go to Jamaica because Tony has a show. Okay, and y'all know they gotta have all this fucking drama and comparison and shit. You know, Tony has the best suite at the hotel, but you know, big money Tamar and her big man, you know, Vince gotta go get a fucking villa with butlers and shit for the baby and mama. Like, you know, they gotta act like they have buku kids when they only have one. Alright. But anyway, you know, everybody out there and they looking for the green. They only saw him smoke at the end of the episode. And I thought it was nice that they were even being light enough to, you know, make fun and be like that with one another. Once they got out there, they got in a few little spats, but they quickly diffused and it didn't turn into no big thing. And they was able to have a good time and everybody enjoyed the trip. You know what I'm saying? They just spent time together. They, you know, had like the little night after they performed. Everybody was tired, but they still stayed up and talked to Tamar and joked with her. And I really feel like, you know, I'm glad that they did that, because I feel like there are some times when they really do throw Tamar to the side because they may feel some type of way. And there are times when they really don't express how they feel. Like Tawanda, I feel like you've been mad this whole time. It doesn't really have anything to do with the fan thing. I just feel like now that's a good reason. I don't know why before then you were so upset. I really don't. I understand that her baby ass attitude can aggravate people, but it seemed like more than that last season. And we still have no idea what the fuck you were upset about. It just seemed like this season we finally understand that you may just be getting to your breaking point with everybody disregarding your feelings because you the person that everybody else leans on. So that's understandable. And you know, you feel like people always got some shit to say and your own sister won't even come to bat for you because of her fans. And her ego is, you know, everything to her, it seemed like. So I do understand Tawanda, but I feel like something else is going on and nobody has said anything. And I feel like that's either not Tamar's fault or Tamar knowing she faking the phone. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's not my story to tell. But all I'm saying is, you know, they just really need to get it together, especially since they want to do this album with everybody. Okay, so they come out there, they discuss doing the album, and everybody needs to be in LA. Everybody needs to be in the same place to do the album. And, you know, Tony has the idea to do 2 songs for every person, and then everybody do background for that person doing lead vocals on the song. Well, you know, of course, fucking Tamar gotta have a problem with this, and I really feel like Tamar is low-key jealous of Tony. No, I'm sorry. Like, I really feel like Tony is the big sister, so she always got to show her love and shit like that. And she looks up to her, but she is ultimately jealous of Tony. And I just feel like that kind of shows through sometimes. But anyway, you know, they still ended up having a good time and enjoying each other, but they ain't say nothing else about working on this album. But I'm just happy to see them having a good time together, and it just seems like maybe since they didn't argue so much, it'll give them time to appreciate one another long enough to make this fucking album, because I want to hear the album. So, you know, good for them. That was Braxton Family Values. Oh, wait, before I forget, did y'all see when the mama had to tell Tamar, maybe you just don't need to tell people shit sometimes? Maybe if they didn't want to hear it, you don't need to tell them your advice, because they didn't want to hear it. Because she pissed Tracy off by saying that, you know, she hadn't heard anything from Tracy's album, and Tracy needed to put out a single before she put out the album. And she was like, well, I did put out a single, but Tamar didn't hear it, so it was kind of shade. So that made her feel some type of way. So she was pissed and came to the performance late and all of this shit. But like I said, they ultimately ended up having a good time. So it really wasn't nothing. But Tamar finally took and listened to what her mama was saying and said that you just don't need to say things sometimes. Just because it's the truth doesn't mean it needs to be said by you. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that that's something me myself I had to learn how to do, and I still have a hard time with. Because in my family, when people be with that bullshit, I be like, so you really gonna sit up here with this bullshit, huh? Like, I'm gonna call it for what it is. I'm not just gonna sit there and, you know, react to the situation. I'm gonna step out of it and be like, so you doing the same shit that you always do, huh? You know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna go take this shit for face value. We gonna really look at the situation when I'm around. That's a fucking problem. But I'm just saying, Braxton family values, people. Y'all, I didn't even make no notes for SWV. SWV. I didn't even make no notes for them hoes. You know why? Because the shit was so outlandish. I remembered everything. So this was basically Lili's episode. First of all, let's talk about last episode that we find out that Taj had a sexual relationship with Kenny, the A&R rep, back in the day 20 years ago. We all knew that our girl Coco was going to be mad at this because Coco looks for any reason to be mad at somebody, okay? She looks for any reason to say, I'm going to quit. And that is why I no longer review this show, because I get so fucking tired of every episode being at Coco's whim with whether she wants to be in the group or not. You're either going to be in SWV or go do your own thing, but I'm fucking tired of watching a show where all you do is think about yourself. At the end of the day, Taj fucking Kenny happened 20 years ago and has absolutely nothing to do with what is going on now. Y'all are grown ass women and there is nobody to tell on, okay? Like, there's nobody to tell on. You ain't doing no crazy shit because you got a husband. You know what I'm saying? Or a boo or whatever he is. I'm just saying. Whoever her little boo is, he cute too. He be trying to keep it real with her. He be trying to tell her the truth. He's also SWV's music director, so he has some, you know, stock in whether SWV works out or not as well, but also calling her on her shit for always being so selfish and getting mad at any little thing. It is really annoying. It is really annoying. So she left and didn't come to Atlanta to do their sessions how they were supposed to do. They were supposed to be doing some sessions and some audio and doing some songs and getting some work done for this album, but of course Coco doesn't show up because she's feeling some type of way. Well, they get in the studio without her. The little young ass producer that they got at first didn't seem like he wanted to record with just the two of them because Coco wasn't there. But they finally come together and got this nice little song, and I liked the song, and I really didn't miss Coco on the song. Of course, you always want Coco to have some part on the song because of how her voice goes with their voices and with the type of music that they make. But at the end of the day, the song was tight and I liked the song whether she was on it or not. I'm gonna be real. And I was pissed off when they tried to get at T.I. to get on the song and he said he wouldn't do it without Coco. I was like, for real? That is so fucked up. Like, it wouldn't be a hit if Coco wasn't on it. Like, that's so fucked up. They still SWV, and I'm sorry, but you know, the other girls have done lead vocals on other songs on that last album, and those songs were good. So I don't see what is the big fucking deal if Coco isn't on one song. Like, I'm really aggravated by that. I am really aggravated by that. I don't like how everything always depends on whether Coco is gonna be there or not, especially when Coco is not dependable really. Now, they're going through rehearsals and shit, and Taj is having a hard time. Y'all know Taj had pneumonia. Taj had seizures and shit, so she's been going through it health-wise. During rehearsal, she damn near passed out. She had to go to the hospital. Lily gets on the phone and call Coco, and her ass sitting up there talking about she not coming because she's with her family and shit. And Lily is like, bitch, we going through shit down here, and you still worrying about that shit that happened 20 years ago? For real? I ain't got shit to say to you. And it was like that. Well, y'all know what's going on with Lily, right? Well, I mean, and that's why I really like the show, because I like Lily. And I like Taj too, but really I like Lily. And I want Lily to win. I want Lily to, you know, I want SWV to work because I want Lily to be okay. Like, I'm going to tell you that for real right now. Like, that's with the stock in the reality show, that's how it changes the perspective. Now it's not so much about, oh, okay, it's just because I want to hear SWV music. It's because you want the people in the group to be okay because they're good people and they work hard, and their life shouldn't always be up in the balance depending on somebody else. So I really wanted them to get in, you know, get out and do the album and shit, just so that, you know, your girl could be okay and, you know, just do whatever it is she got to do to make her life okay for the rest of her years, because y'all know, she just, I mean, she living in an apartment, but the bitch is straight out, you know, from off the street a couple of years ago. So fuck, like, it's just aggravating, especially when you know them hoes ain't gonna give her no place to stay, because when she was living on the street, them hoes was living in mansions and shit. Taj, when she was going to rehearsal in Atlanta with this group that she's managing, they needed to get it together because they wasn't doing it. I'm just saying, they was in rehearsal, so they need to work on it a little harder. They wasn't doing it yet in rehearsal. So one of the little dudes gives her, you know, something on his phone, and it was a blog site of Lele's daughter being on an escort site. So you know Taj has to go and tell Lele about this. So she goes and she talks to Lele and tells her, you know, this is what happened, da-da-da-da-da, you know, I saw your daughter. And she couldn't even look at it. She just broke down crying. And she was like, I can't believe this. And of course she's going to blame herself. She going to feel like, because I was Miss Hot Pussy all them years, I must have made my daughter, you know, on an escort or some shit. But no, that's not what it was. She eventually goes and sit down with her daughter in the park, and her daughter tells her that she kind of held it against Lele, that Lele didn't have the answers to why her father wasn't around. And she didn't have a good self-esteem, and, you know, she was feeling like she was being independent. It was something that happened when she was 18 and 19 years old, and she's in her 20s now, 21 now, I think. So she's grown up since then, and she feels like, you know, that was something she did in her past that was, you know, juvenile, but, you know, she needs to go and get therapy, basically. So Lele is crying, but Lele, you know, accepts what she's saying and is very, you know, calm and nice about it. I feel like my mama would have came and punched me in my face when she first heard I was escorting, and then we would have had a good crying talk. But the first reaction would have been to whip my ass. I'm just saying. They go to the therapist, and what we discover in therapy, y'all, it's about to rain. What we discover in therapy is that not only was Lele molested by her uncle's wife. We found that out last episode. I think last episode or 2 episodes ago. But we also found out that Lele's daughter was molested by a family friend that was a woman as well. And Lele had no idea. And I felt really bad for her, because for that to have happened to both of them, and that doesn't happen often with women molesting, you know, children. That doesn't happen as often as men molesting children. But that shit is crazy. That shit is so crazy. And, you know, Lele felt bad about that, because it's like, how the fuck did I not even know that was going on? But it was right around the time when Lele was going on tour with SWV. And it's the type of things that happen when you don't have your kids with you all the time. But, I mean, even people that work at home, this shit happens to their kids and they never know. So I felt so bad for Lele. I really did. And it's like, you just really want Lele to win. And you didn't want her to win before. You definitely want her to win now. Because it's just a lot to have all of that. Like, you just now finding out that your daughter was escorting, and you just now finding out that she was molested. But not only was she molested, but she was molested exactly damn near how you were molested. So you can put yourself in her shoes exactly and look at it from the perspective of that being her child. So she really felt bad about that. Y'all, it was sad. It was really sad. But ultimately, Coco ass came out there to support her sisters and sat there and talk with everybody. And they gonna get in the studio and they gonna do what they gotta do. She not leaving. She gonna be there for them. And I'm like, you know, I feel like this happens every episode. Every fucking episode, you don't want to be there. You leave. You act like a brat. And then in the nick of fucking time, after you done already missed a couple of appointments, you show up and want to act like now all is well. Well, if it would have been somebody else in the group and not you, then everybody would have been like, bitch, like, you gonna stop with this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not all happy to see you, but more so mad that you constantly doing this shit. Like, at the end of the day, y'all, I am totally annoyed with Coco. I'm annoyed with Coco mama, who want her to sing gospel so hard. And it's like, lady, we understand. You are getting older and you want to be closer to the Lord. And you feel like when you get to heaven, you can tell the pearly glaze, the man at the pearly gates tell St. Peter that your daughter sings gospel music, bitch. And that's going to get you a gold star to get into the, you know, the house of the Lord. I understand. But at the end of the day, SWV is what sells records, and what sells records is what makes money if you have the right people behind you. And now that they're on this television show, it only makes sense for y'all to put out an album when y'all have y'all audience. Stop being fucking stupid. And that's all I got to say. That's what I got to say about the sisters with voices and attitudes. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the video. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining me and watching me. I hope you were all entertained, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.